What is up, guys? MMA with Musty here. I'm coming at you with a big one. The main event prediction for tomorrow night. Derek the Black Beast Lewis against Alexei the Bow Constrictor Oleinik. Listen, when this fight got announced, I said this fight's going to be an absolute shit show. Because I truly think it may be. But it'll also be a great fight in my opinion. I just think there's a real contrast of styles between the two guys here. And if you guys have seen Derek Lewis fight and you see Oleinik fight, like Oleinik's super tough grinder. Derek Lewis throws bombs, like acts tired, then knocks guys out. So I just see this fight being very entertaining. So when I said what I said, I mean that in a good way. But let's hop right into it. We're taking a look at Alexei Oleinik's record here. I have it right here. Obviously, what stands out immediately, well, first of all, the fact that he has, like, over 70 fights, but second, 46 submission wins. He submitted 46 guys in there. And I don't think Derek Lewis is an exception to not being able to get submitted by Oleinik. I think it's a very real possibility in this fight. I think Derek Lewis should, at all costs, avoid going to the ground with Alexei Oleinik. Derek Lewis, on the other hand, obviously 23 wins, 18 by knockout, and he's only been submitted once in his pro career, and it was by heavyweight title contender and former heavyweight champ Daniel Cormier, one of the greatest ever. So take that into consideration. Now, where I draw the line in this fight is, well, I see it playing out one of two ways. Obviously, there's multiple ways it could play out, but one or two ways. Number one, Alexei Oleinik is very tough. Let me tell you a story about Alexei Oleinik. I saw him fight at UFC 217. That was GSP versus Bisping. I was there. Oleinik was fighting. It was the first time he fought Walt Harris. Not the second time. Second time was really bad. The first time he fought Walt Harris, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check here. No, it was Curtis Blades. He fought Curtis Blades. I'm sorry. First, he fought Curtis Blades. It was a doctor stoppage. It was a TKO doctor stoppage. But Oleinik never went down in that fight. And what I saw, what you don't see on TV is Oleinik coming out of the octagon. He was like clearly concussed. He was stumbling. He didn't look good. I was like, wow, like great, like good thing they stopped that fight on the stool. It was for something like totally unrelated to him even being hurt. It might have been a cut. It might have been an illegal strike. I don't know. But I was like, thank God they stopped that, because this guy is inhumanly tough. That's what I got from when I watched him live. And when you watch him on TV, you know he's a grinder. He gets you down to the ground. He pulls out these submissions. And Derek Lewis, against, I think a guy like that, it is a pretty bad matchup for him. A guy who could kind of grind him out, maybe absorb some shots and drag it to the floor, even if it takes 3, 4, 5 rounds. So, if this fight goes into deep water, if Oleinik's able to weather the storm, Derek Lewis is gonna be in deep water. Now, on the flip side, we got Derek Lewis, who has said, and he said that he's coming out guns blazing for this one. And why do I believe him? Well, if you watch the Walt Harris Alexei Oleinik fight, I have it here. Alexei Oleinik lost the fight in 12 seconds. Walt Harris came out, blitzed him. Obviously, Oleinik, a tough guy who can normally withstand the storm, but he hit him like right out of the gate, hurt Oleinik to the point where Oleinik couldn't even, use his toughness and put him down, ended the fight. I think that Derek Lewis has to come out and he has to throw heat, because it's not like Oleinik's this great wrestler, right? Like there's going to be some striking exchanges before it goes to the clinch, before it goes to the ground. I think Derek Lewis has to come out, throw heat, and then the big punch early, get him out of there. Now, another thing to note about Derek Lewis, his takedown defense and his wrestling is definitely, like, questionable. But he's hard to get to the ground. We saw that with DC because he's a very big guy. And we also saw against DC that Derek Lewis is so strong that he could just stand up when you're on top of him. Like, eventually, Cormier was able to get the choke, but DC said, I've never had someone's back, and they just stood up like that. Obviously, DC a little smaller than Derek Lewis, but Oleinik's probably going to be a little smaller too. So, worst case scenario, no, the fight does go to the ground early. Derek Lewis might be able to scramble up a few times just using his athleticism, using his strength before he gets tired, before Oleinik's able to, really work for a submission. So with that being said, this is a very close fight, like I said, clash of styles. Normally I do go with the guy with the advantage on the ground over the striker, but this is heavyweight, man. Derek Lewis looks like he's in great shape. He said he's going to come out swinging early. I don't know, maybe this isn't smart, but I'm going with Derek Lewis in this one, guys. I'm going with Derek Lewis first round knockout. It's a bold pick. It's a bold take. It might come back to bite me. But that's what I'm going with. I think that if that doesn't happen, I think it's going to be an Oleinik submission, probably later in the fight. But I'm taking the... Derek Lewis is the favorite, but I feel like I am, taking a risk here by saying Lewis KO, putting that on the record. But that's what I'm going to do. We'll see what happens. Really looking forward to the fight. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video and on the podcast on Sunday. Peace.